have the data type, the array name, and the number of items. So this array is actually is array size 6, and it starts counting from 0. So I like to think of arrays as buckets. So you'll have 6 buckets, but you start counting the buckets from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because that's 6 buckets, 0 through 5. And you can initialize these arrays by 2 different ways. You could go ahead and do it this way with nothing there, and then go ahead and use a counter, a for loop, and with the counter, and then run through the array 0 through 5 and initialize it with 0. Or you could go ahead and actually add some values right here, like I do with the grades array right here, with that's a size 5, and I put 5 values in there for the array. Now this grade right here, number 75, remember that's in the first bucket, which is what? It's 0. That's right. I love answering myself. So these buckets start from 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So as you loop through the for loop, as you can see here, I start from 0 and less than 6, because this buckets have 6. You could also use constants. That seems to be the standard constants to declare your array, like I did with this double array. We'll get into that in a second. But you go ahead and use a for loop to initialize your array, and of course you could use a for loop to print out your array as well. Keep in mind, using the brackets right here, and like we use a counter variable, we're able to loop through the array position 0, position 1, position 2, position 3, and go ahead and print out what's in there. In my case, I have a bunch of integers with zeros. So if you ran this, you know, this is just a bunch of zeros that get printed because there's nothing in there. Now the second type of array you should be looking at is a double array. Now you could go you could go bigger than double arrays, but this is the standard just to talk about. And the first bracket represent rows, and the second one represents columns. And the way to look at it is that it's a bunch of buckets now, but divided up into rows and columns. And this is a good way, a good picture to look at, because this is row 0, so it plays position 0 to row, and then column, let's say 2. You could look over there and you can see the value 12. Now I didn't initialize anything in this double array, but I just went ahead and made a little chart, you know. So let's go ahead and do that. My double array at row, that's 0 like we just said, and then column 2, I'm going to establish that that's 12. And and so with my little chart here, it now proves it. Well, it doesn't prove it, I made it prove it, but at row 0 and then position 2 of column, that has 12 in it. And that's a good way of making a little chart represents that. Let's go ahead and now see out my double array. Now let's go ahead and print that position specifically. You can do that by entering it there, and in line 5, and at the beginning right there, there's 12. So there you go, proved it right there. How you like me now? So in row 0, column 2, it gets the value of 12. You could do it by this way, and you could print it out by accessing it directly. You could also use something called a double for loop to print your array. And what you would do is have a for loop inside of another for loop. One, the outer for loop representing the row, and the inner for loop representing the columns. And as you loop through each row, it'll print out the values for the columns, and then another row, print out the other values for the column. So a double for loop, and using my double array is the way you would print out the array for a double array. Okay, this was your tutorial on arrays. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.